How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Second Gear's Miles. And today and over the subsequent weeks, I'm going to be fixing everything that's wrong with my 1998 Japanese domestic market Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. Starting off with something super easy is the weather stripping between the fender and the body. Over time, this has gotten warped. It no longer stays in the channel, so anytime I drive, it just flips out and then starts whacking the side of the car. It's super annoying, and it's not doing its intended purpose, which is keeping water out between this fender and this body panel right here. So we're going to be fixing that. The next thing, which is one of two major projects, is locating and stopping this oil leak. I don't know how oil gets up into that heat shield right there, but I believe it's coming from down by the oil pump on the bottom of the engine, then it gets flung up, or it might be coming from somewhere else. Either way, it's not causing any huge issues right now. The car's still running great, but at some point we'll have to locate and fix that oil leak. Now, the last thing in the engine compartment that we need to work on is cleaning out this throttle body. Now, when I picked up the car from the vehicle processing center, it was having a hard time idling. It kept dropping below 800 RPM to around the 500 RPM range, and almost sounded like it was about to stall out. And this is an automatic car that's not supposed to do that. So it ironed itself out over time, but it's still having some idling issues, falling under 800 RPM, just a smidge. So what I think is going on is that there's some buildup on the inside of the throttle body, and then one of the videos is we're going to take this apart, get some carb cleaner, and go ahead and clean it out, and that should alleviate any idling issues. Moving to the back of the car, the brake lights have some scuffing and scratching on it. Nothing too crazy, but maybe if I can find some good replacement ones, I'll go ahead and replace this one. But I do have to replace this one right here, because this piece I actually Gorilla Glued back into place right before I imported it. Of course, the brake light goes out a week before my import appointment, and as I was putting it back in, I was a little too rough on it, and this piece all kind of it broke off. But thankfully it came out in one solid piece, so I was able to just Gorilla Glue this back in, and everything went great on the import appointment. The next thing isn't so much a fix as it is an accessory or an upgrade. I really like the Japanese license plate, so I'm going to leave this on, and I'm going to get a license plate bracket for the Virginia plate, which is required by Virginia state law to have on the back of your vehicle. Moving on down to the rear bumper. Unfortunately, somebody hit my bumper a couple weeks ago. It's purely aesthetic. Everything like structurally is just fine. So I'll probably do a video on I've never repainted anything before, so this will be a learning process for me. But again, it's a Land Cruiser. It's meant to get kind of beat up, and thankfully, again, since this is a big car, it wasn't any worse damage from just some paint chipping and some scratching right here. But at some point in the future, at some point this coming calendar year, we're going to be working on that. All right, coming around to the gas door, unfortunately, the latch on the inside of the car on the driver's side doesn't work. So it's actually, there's a cable that actuates this little popper right here, and that's what pops the door out. Unfortunately, that's not working. So either the cable is missing or it's stretched out, it's come loose, any number of things. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that up. The second big thing, I guess it would be two of three big things that are a priority on this car, is fixing the e-brake. So right now the e-brake on this car doesn't work. Thankfully it's an automatic, so I can just put it in park. But right now you can't see it obviously because the wheel and tire are covering it, but the e-brake shoe on this side isn't working, which means that the whole system isn't working, because when you pull up on the handbrake, there's no tension on it. So right now the e-brake isn't working. That's a priority. All right, the next thing we got to work on, I'm under the car. This is the transfer case. The front of the car is that way, and there is squealing coming from, I believe it's the transfer case. So a common failure point on this car is the input shaft into the transfer case, and that causes some squealing. So I'm gonna do some more research to confirm that this is actually the problem, and then we're gonna drop this, replace these bearings and some rings in here, and hopefully that'll fix the problem. But this is not a major job, but it is an involved job, so I'm gonna do some more research and double check before I go through the trouble of dropping this and doing all that work. And actually, this was not planned, but right as I'm under here, I'm actually seeing some oil drip. This is the bell housing of the transmission, and that is very fresh oil. So we might also have a rear main seal leak on the engine. Not anything that it's going to make the car undrivable by any stretch, but another thing that we got to add to our to-do list. All right, coming into the car, as I mentioned earlier, the gas cap cable doesn't work, so you pull on this, nothing happens. So we got to fix that. And then this gear shifter,
you mean the Prindle,
has gotten loose over time. It still works fine, but I want to make sure that this is nice and sturdy, so we're gonna go ahead and tighten this up. Another thing that we got to fix on the Land Cruiser is the light on the P for the Prindle.
The what?
For the gear shift on the gauge cluster isn't working. So as you can see, put it in reverse, it lights up. Neutral, lights up. Drive also doesn't work. The bulb is burnt out. Second gear works just fine. Same thing with low. So drive, that's neutral, reverse, and then park. So since we got to remove, fix more than one, I'm just going to go ahead and take the whole gauge cluster out and upgrade everything to LEDs. Speaking of upgrades, in the process of fixing stuff, so this front dome light doesn't turn on. The other dome lights work just fine, but they're the old incandescent bulbs, so this is on the door setting, so it won't turn on unless the door is open. There we go. And the one in the back works just fine as well. So I went ahead and got LED lights, so I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade this to an LED bulb, as well as the front and the rear. The last thing as far as lights goes, I'm going to have to come on the outside of the car. As you can see, the driver's side light works just fine, but the passenger side one is burnt out. And I'm actually going to be filming that video today. And the last thing to fix on this Land Cruiser is going to be this switch right here. So when you go to turn it on, if you see if I can recreate it. So it goes up pretty easily, but going down is a bear. I don't know if it will go down. So usually what I have to do is just turn it off and then do it like that. And that's how I get it to go down to the lowest setting. Not a huge deal. Honestly, out of everything in this car that has issues, this is probably the lowest priority, but it's broken and it's something that we can fix. Okay, so that's everything that's wrong with my 1998 Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. At least I think that's everything. I'm sure there might be something I forget, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I didn't just jinx myself and something else is gonna pop up, like that, like discovering that oil leak, probably at the rear main seal down the bell housing of the transmission. But if you want to see more videos, more how-tos, more car culture, more cars that make you smile, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that bell notification. Comment down below on every single one of my videos. Give the videos a thumbs up. It'll help me build my channel. Thanks. Bye.